In the coming years, humanity may witness an event that until recently seemed like science fiction. Millions of humanoid robots will begin to appear in ordinary homes, apartments, offices, stores, and even schools. And if robots were once associated either with large industrial manipulators in factories or with expensive experimental machines costing hundreds of thousands of dollars, accessible only to corporations and governments, the situation is now changing rapidly. According to several analytical agencies, including Morgan Stanley, Goldman Sachs, and IDC, the humanoid robotics market could become one of the largest technological markets of the 21st century, and the total size of the industry by the middle of the next decade could exceed several trillion dollars. The main catalyst of this revolution is increasingly being called Tesla, and personally Elon Musk. It is Tesla, according to insiders and former employees, that is now preparing what inside the company is called a transition from the era of automobiles to the era of intelligent humanoid systems. And if leaks, supplier presentations, and supply chain analyst data are to be believed, the company may soon begin sales of several versions of the Optimus robot. And this will not be a single universal model, but an entire lineup of humanoid machines aimed at completely different customer segments. According to sources close to Tesla contractors, the company is discussing at least 4 directions. The first category is home assistant robots designed for ordinary families, and these are expected to become a mass-market product that could be found in apartments and houses across the United States, Europe, and Asia. Such robots would be able to clean homes, do laundry, carry heavy objects, assist elderly people, prepare simple food, look after children, and also act as intelligent assistants. The second category is industrial Optimus robots, enhanced versions with more powerful actuators and batteries, designed for round-the-clock operation in factories, warehouses, and construction sites. The third category is companion robots, focused not so much on physical labor as on communication and interaction with humans, and it is this version that is currently generating the most debate and discussion. Insiders claim that Tesla is testing models with advanced emotional facial expression, improved voice AI, and real-time human behavior recognition systems. Finally, the fourth category is specialized intelligent robots for complex professions, which within the industry are already being called AI executive units. According to rumors, these versions in the future will be able to perform part of analytical work in companies, handle documentation, logistics, warehouse management, production line control, and even assist engineers. But the most interesting part is not the robots themselves, but the much larger and potentially historical concept of how Tesla plans to sell these humanoid machines. According to information discussed among investors and company suppliers, Tesla is preparing to create a completely new type of retail spaces. Enormous technology centers of the future that will resemble a mix between an Apple store, a NASA control center, a CES exhibition, and a premium automotive showroom. Tesla internally understands that selling humanoid robots like ordinary household appliances is impossible. People are not ready to simply order a robot online from a picture. They need to see it in person, test it, talk to it, and make sure the machine is safe. That is why, according to Wedbush securities analysts, the company is considering building a global network of specialized Tesla robotics stores. Imagine a huge futuristic store in the center of New York, Los Angeles, Tokyo, or Dubai, with white walls, soft lighting, giant screens, glass demonstration zones, dozens of moving robots, and a fully automated service system. A person enters inside, and from the very threshold they are greeted not by a sales consultant, but by a humanoid Tesla robot. It recognizes the visitor, greets them by name if the person has booked in advance through the Tesla app, and offers a personalized demonstration. Sources close to the company claim that Tesla wants to turn the process of buying a robot into not just a purchase of technology, but a full-scale experience, almost like buying a first car, only even more emotional. A family will be able to spend several hours in the store testing different versions of robots, checking their behavior, asking questions, and observing how they operate. Inside such stores, the company plans to create special themed zones, For example, the home section will look like a fully functional future apartment. There, the robot will be able to demonstrate how it cleans the kitchen, organizes items, brings groceries, helps children with homework, or communicates with elderly people. Visitors will be able to essentially live alongside the robot for several hours inside a simulated environment. According to sources among Tesla contractors, the company is even considering night demonstration programs where potential buyers can leave a robot in a test apartment for several hours and monitor its behavior through an app. This is intended to remove the main fear most people have, the fear of machine unpredictability. Industrial versions of the robots will be tested in completely different sections of the stores. Their visitors will see miniature factories and warehouses where Optimus moves heavy boxes, sorts cargo, assembles structures, and interacts with other robots. Tesla understands that its main clients are not only families, but also businesses, and corporate orders may become the main source of revenue in the early years. Analysts believe that the largest logistics companies in the United States, including Amazon, Walmart, and FedEx, are already closely monitoring the development of Optimus. And according to rumors, some of them are conducting closed tests of humanoid systems at their facilities. A separate section of the stores will be dedicated to customization, and here, Tesla aims to completely reshape the market. Sources claim that the company is discussing the possibility of personalizing robots almost like Tesla cars. A user will be able to choose body color, surface materials, facial style, voice, type of behavior, and even the character of the AI interaction. Some analysts believe that in the future, people will treat their robots almost like family members, which is why Tesla is reportedly considering limited editions designer versions and premium models with exclusive features. But the main question that concerns everyone is price, and here forecasts vary significantly. Elon Musk has previously stated that the mass-market Optimus should cost less than a car. According to analysts at Bank of America and ARK Invest, basic home versions could cost between $18,000 and $25,000 in the early years of mass production. More advanced models with expanded AI capabilities, higher autonomy, and improved hand dexterity may cost between $35,000 and $50,000. Industrial versions capable of operating around the clock will likely be significantly more expensive, ranging from $60,000 to $120,000, depending on configuration. But the most important element is that Tesla is reportedly preparing a subscription and installment system, meaning a person could pay for a robot, like for a car or smartphone monthly, for example, $300 to $500 per month. And this is what could make humanoid robots truly mass market. Sources inside financial circles claim that Tesla is also discussing the creation of a Tesla Robotics insurance program, where robots will be insured like cars. Users will be able to purchase extended warranties, damage insurance, AI update subscriptions, and even 24-hour technical support. The company understands that robots will break especially in the early years, so alongside the store network, Tesla is reportedly building one of the largest service infrastructures for humanoid machines. In every store, a full service center is planned. People will be able to bring damaged robots there for diagnostics, battery replacement, servo motor repair, or internal component upgrades. Insiders say that Tesla is considering a modular design for Optimus. This means many parts could be replaced in just a few minutes. For example, a damaged arm or actuator could be quickly removed and swapped with a new module. In the long term, the company aims to reduce robot repair time from weeks to just hours. Moreover, the creation of mobile service teams is being discussed, similar to Tesla mobile service for cars, but designed for robots. If Optimus breaks down at home, the user will be able to request a technical team through an app. A Tesla Robotics service unit van would then arrive on site. According to rumors, Tesla is already testing such mobile stations. They are expected to be equipped with diagnostic tools, spare components, and even temporary replacement robots. Analysts believe that this service infrastructure will become one of Tesla's key competitive advantages. The logistics of robot delivery also look especially interesting. According to industry sources, Tesla is considering fully automated distribution centers where Optimus units would literally wake up before shipment. The robot undergoes final checks, receives basic configuration, syncs with the owner's account, and is then sent either to a store or directly to the user. In the future, some models may even be delivered without any human involvement at all. Imagine a scenario where a person buys an Optimus in a store, activates it via an app. The robot connects to the Tesla AI cloud system and literally walks out of the store alongside its owner. This is the kind of concept currently being discussed in Silicon Valley tech circles. The oil market is experiencing perhaps the strangest and most contradictory moment in recent decades. On one hand, oil prices are rising again, tankers are lining up in queues, global media outlets are discussing the threat of strategic straits being blocked, and analysts from Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan are warning about the risk of a new energy shock. Against the backdrop of instability in the Middle East, attacks on maritime infrastructure, and growing tensions around key oil supply routes, many countries have begun urgently increasing their fuel reserves. It would seem that history itself is once again dragging humanity back into the era of oil dependence. But the paradox is that this very crisis, according to a number of economists and technology analysts, could accelerate the end of the oil era. Because for the first time, the world has seen how dangerous it is to depend on a single resource that can turn into a weapon literally overnight. And while some countries are trying to keep the oil system afloat, others are already investing hundreds of billions of dollars into alternative energy, electric vehicles, next-generation nuclear technologies, and most importantly, into batteries capable of completely transforming the planet's transportation system. Today, behind the scenes of the world's largest investment funds, technology corporations, and even energy companies, the same idea is being discussed more and more often. Humanity may have already passed the peak of the oil age, but simply has not realized it yet. Yes, oil will not disappear tomorrow. Airplanes will continue flying, ships will continue sailing, and millions of gasoline-powered vehicles will remain on the roads for many years to come. But the trend itself is beginning to change. And unexpectedly, the center of this transition has become a man whom many considered a crazy dreamer just 10 years ago. Of course, this is about Elon Musk and Tesla. When Tesla first began mass-producing electric vehicles, almost every major automaker in the world mocked the company. In the early 2000s, experts insisted that electric cars would never be able to compete with gasoline-powered vehicles. The main argument was always the same: batteries were too weak, too expensive, and too inconvenient. A car could only travel a few hundred kilometers, then it needed a long recharge, and in winter, the driving range dropped sharply. For most people, it looked like a dead-end technology, but Tesla changed the perception of electric vehicles. The company proved that an electric car could be fast, technological, desirable, and even prestigious. Model S, Model 3, Cybertruck, all of these projects gradually began dismantling the oil monopoly that had been built for more than 100 years. However, according to insiders, all of this may have been only preparation for a far more ambitious project. In recent months, more and more rumors have appeared around Tesla regarding a new battery platform connected to the 4680 project. And if the information leaking from American technology publications is accurate, this is not just about improving batteries. It may involve a technology capable of permanently changing the balance between gasoline and electricity. The number 4680 has long been familiar to those who follow Tesla. Formally, it refers to the dimensions of the battery cell, 46 millimeters in diameter and 80 millimeters in length. But inside the industry, these batteries have long been called something else: the tipping point batteries, because Tesla's new strategy is being built around them. And now, according to several sources familiar with the company's suppliers, Tesla is testing the next generation of these cells internally, which could turn out to be far more powerful than anything currently available on the mass market. Some insiders claim that Tesla may have come close to creating a battery with an energy density that would allow vehicles to travel from 1,200 to nearly 1,600 kilometers on a single charge. It sounds like science fiction. For comparison, most modern electric vehicles today average around 400 to 700 kilometers of range. Even the best Tesla versions are still far from the figures now being discussed behind the scenes in Silicon Valley. But the most interesting part is not just the driving range. According to a number of analysts, Tesla is betting on several directions at once: increasing energy density, reducing production costs, and ultra-fast charging. Charging itself had been the oil industry's main weapon against electric vehicles for many years. People could accept almost everything: unusual design, the absence of engine noise, new interfaces. But they feared one thing: being left without energy in the middle of the road. The so-called range anxiety still remains the main psychological barrier for millions of buyers. And now, if the rumors about the new generation of 4680 batteries are even partially true, that fear may begin to disappear. If Tesla truly manages to reduce battery costs by at least 30 to 40%, the consequences for the global economy will be enormous, because then an electric vehicle would become cheaper than a gasoline car, not only in operation, but also in the initial purchase price. That would represent a psychological turning point. Today, many people still buy gasoline vehicles out of fear. They believe gasoline means reliability, that you can quickly fill up a tank at a gas station and continue driving. But if an electric car can travel 1,000 kilometers and recharge in just minutes, the main argument of the oil era will begin collapsing before everyone's eyes. And this is where the most interesting part begins. Because Tesla has long stopped being just an automobile company. Many analysts believe that Musk is actually building an energy empire. Electric vehicles are only the tip of the iceberg. Beneath Tesla lies a massive infrastructure of batteries, solar panels, energy storage systems, and software for managing electrical grids. While oil giants spent decades building a world around gasoline, Tesla is building a world around electricity. Against this backdrop, more and more countries are beginning to panic over their dependence on oil, especially after the latest events surrounding maritime supply routes. When the market saw how quickly a conflict in one region could trigger a global price spike, governments began dramatically accelerating investments in alternative energy. Europe is investing record sums into battery factories. China is building gigantic energy storage facilities. The United States is launching programs to support domestic battery production, and all of this is happening simultaneously. Interestingly, the oil companies themselves are also beginning to prepare for a possible turning point. According to Bloomberg and Reuters, some energy giants are already investing billions of dollars into charging infrastructure and battery production. It looks almost ironic. Companies that spent decades profiting from oil are now trying to integrate themselves into a world after oil. But why exactly did Tesla end up at the center of this transition? The answer is largely connected to Elon Musk's personality. Musk has long argued that humanity's main problem is dependence on fossil fuels, and it was not only the climate issue that concerned him. Musk repeatedly emphasized that the oil economy makes the world unstable. Any conflict can trigger an energy crisis. Any disruption of supplies can crash markets. In this sense, the electrification of transportation becomes not just a technology, but a matter of national security. According to people who worked with Tesla, Musk is literally obsessed with the idea of ultra-cheap and ultra-efficient batteries. Inside the company, batteries are called the heart of a new civilization, because without cheap energy storage, it is impossible to build either mass-market electric vehicles, solar energy systems, future robots, or even fully fledged artificial intelligence, which requires enormous amounts of electricity. That is why the 4680 project inside Tesla is considered almost sacred. The company is investing colossal resources into it. Production lines are being expanded in Texas, Nevada, and China. Equipment suppliers are operating around the clock, and real technological wars are already unfolding around new battery chemistries. Some insiders claim that Tesla is currently testing batteries with a fundamentally new cooling system and structural integration into the vehicle body. This means the battery itself becomes part of the car's structure, reducing weight while increasing strength. In simple terms, the vehicle becomes lighter, safer, and more efficient at the same time, and reducing weight directly affects driving range. Other sources discuss the possible emergence of semi-solid-state battery cells, which could become a transitional stage toward fully solid-state batteries. Many people call solid-state batteries the holy grail of the automotive industry. They are potentially safer, charge faster, and have much higher energy density. The problem is that mass production remains extremely difficult. But if Tesla has truly come closer to solving this challenge before its competitors, the consequences could be historic. This is especially painful for oil-producing countries, because if transportation gradually moves away from gasoline, demand for oil will slowly begin to decline. Not suddenly, not within a single year, but steadily. And this is already beginning to affect the strategies of the world's largest nations. Saudi Arabia is actively investing in technology and tourism. The UAE is building giant data centers and artificial intelligence infrastructure. Norway has almost completely switched to electric vehicles. China is treating electric transportation as a matter of geopolitical dominance. In reality, a new energy race is beginning right now. And in this race, the winner is not the country with more oil, but the one that controls batteries, electrical grids, and chip production. In the coming years, humanity may witness an event that until recently seemed like pure Hollywood-level science fiction. This is not simply about the appearance of isolated experimental humanoid robots slowly walking through exhibition halls and lifting boxes for journalists' cameras. It is about the mass deployment of millions of human-like machines onto the streets of the world's largest cities. And judging by current developments, this process may already be impossible to stop. According to several major Western technology publications, including Bloomberg, Reuters, The Information, and Nikkei Asia, the world's largest technology companies have accelerated their secret programs for preparing next-generation humanoid platforms. Tesla, Figure AI, Boston Dynamics, Unitree, Xiaomi, XPeng, Agility Robotics, Sanctuary AI, Fourier Intelligence, and dozens of other companies have effectively entered a new race. The race to create the first mass-market universal robot for everyday human life. And while just 2 years ago such statements sounded like investor-focused marketing, insiders within the industry are now saying something completely different. According to them, the discussion is no longer about creating a concept, but about preparing infrastructure for millions of machines. Moreover, several former employees of major AI companies claim that secret laboratories are already simulating billions of scenarios of robot-human interaction in order to prepare robots for real life among us. This stage is now considered the most difficult and most expensive in the entire history of robotics, because building a mechanical body is no longer the main problem. Modern servo motors, batteries, cameras, lidars, and computing systems already make it possible to create robots capable of moving almost like humans. The real problem lies elsewhere: how to make a machine live among people without becoming a threat. And this is where the most interesting part begins. According to insider reports, the world's largest laboratories are now training their humanoid robots around the clock inside enormous closed complexes, resembling a mixture of scientific research centers, military bases, training grounds, and cities of the future. It is there that robots undergo thousands upon thousands of tests every day. They learn how to walk through crowds. They learn to understand human emotions. They learn how to react to aggression. They learn how to cook food, clean floors, care for elderly people, assist children, work in warehouses, extinguish fires, evacuate injured people, contact emergency services, recognize weapons, identify threats, maintain distance, avoid panic, and even prevent conflicts. According to analysts at Morgan Stanley, the humanoid robot market could become the largest technology market in history after smartphones. The reason is simple. Unlike traditional industrial robots limited to factories, humanoid machines could potentially exist absolutely everywhere: in Amazon warehouses, in restaurants, in hospitals, in hotels, in airports, in homes, in policing, in logistics, on construction sites, in agriculture, in supermarkets, and most importantly, they will be able to operate in environments already designed for humans. That is why the world's largest companies are not focusing on wheeled robots or specialized platforms, but specifically on humanoid form factors, human hands, human height, human movement anatomy, because the entire world is already perfectly adapted for humans. One of the leading players in this race today is Tesla. Elon Musk has publicly stated for several years that the Optimus project will become more important than Tesla cars. Many initially perceived these comments as typical Musk marketing, but over the past few months the situation has changed dramatically. New information about the scale of the project has begun leaking online. According to insiders from Texas and California, Tesla is already expanding special areas inside Gigafactory facilities to prepare for the mass production of humanoid platforms. Moreover, several analysts from Wedbush and ARK Invest have stated that a massive redistribution of computing power is currently taking place inside the company in favor of the robotics division. The reason is that a modern robot is no longer just a mechanical machine. It is essentially a physical body for artificial intelligence. This is where Grok, the AI system developed by xAI, which Musk is actively advancing alongside Tesla, enters the picture. According to several sources, interconnected AI models are being used to simulate millions of behavioral scenarios for future Optimus robots. And this goes far beyond simple commands, such as hand over an object or open the door. Modern AI systems are processing incredibly complex behavioral models. For example, how a robot should react if a child suddenly runs in front of it, how it should behave if a person faints, what to do during a short circuit, how to move through smoke, how to assess the danger level of a fire, how to avoid harming a person during physical contact, how to determine whether someone is panicking, how to understand sarcasm, how to recognize threats through voice tone, how to behave inside a store, how to avoid conflicts in public places, how to react to screaming, how to respond to acts of vandalism, how to understand social norms. In essence, robots are not simply being taught to perform actions, they are being taught how to live among humans. And this is exactly what creates both fascination and fear, because many people still imagine humanoid robots as soulless machines that could suddenly become dangerous. However, industry specialists claim the opposite. According to them, modern AI systems undergo such an enormous amount of training and restrictions that the probability of aggressive behavior from a robot could potentially be lower than that of an average human being, especially considering that robots do not experience emotions in the human sense. They do not become angry, they do not suffer mental exhaustion, they do not experience jealousy, they do not fall into rage, they do not consume alcohol, they do not act impulsively. Every action passes through a massive analytical system. According to MIT Technology Review, the world's largest robotics companies are currently using giant virtual worlds to train humanoids. It resembles a video game of unimaginable scale. Inside these simulations, virtual cities, apartments, stores, factories, streets, warehouses, and even emergency situations are created. Within them, artificial intelligence accumulates millions of hours of experience in just a matter of weeks. Robots virtually extinguish fires, work as couriers, rescue people after accidents, assist doctors, learn to sort garbage, cook food, clean skyscraper windows, care for elderly people, and every mistake is analyzed by neural networks. Insiders claim that some training centers already resemble full-scale cities of the future. Enormous white laboratories, long corridors, artificial apartments, mock supermarkets, fake streets, intersections, offices, restaurants. Robots are literally placed into hundreds of different scenarios every day. One engineer allegedly involved with the Optimus project told journalists that in some tests, robots are intentionally exposed to maximum stress conditions. For example, sudden power outages, smoke, siren noise, aggressive crowds, water spilled on the floor, a child running under their feet, a person suddenly grabbing the robot's arm. The AI must instantly assess the situation and choose a safe course of action. Safety protocols are currently evolving especially rapidly. They are considered the primary condition for allowing humanoid robots onto the mass market. According to Financial Times, several countries have already begun discussing the creation of new international standards for humanoid machines. The reason is obvious. If millions of robots truly appear on the streets within the next few years, the world will face an entirely new legal reality. Who bears responsibility for a robot's actions? The manufacturer? The owner? The AI developer? The insurance company? The government? These questions are now being discussed at the level of regulators in Europe, the US, and China. China is taking the issue especially seriously. China is currently considered one of the global leaders in humanoid robot production. Companies like Unitree, Fourier, and Xpeng are already demonstrating incredibly rapid progress. Some analysts even believe that China could become the first country to launch mass production of affordable household robots. The reason is simple. China possesses enormous manufacturing capacity and vast experience in large-scale electronics production. Moreover, Chinese companies are already actively using their own AI systems to train robots in simulations. According to Nikkei Asia, some Chinese training centers operate almost non-stop. Robots there are learning how to cook rice, carry heavy objects, sort goods, clean floors, fold clothes, and assist people in hotels. But the most interesting part begins when the discussion turns to robot-to-robot interaction. According to engineers, one of the biggest challenges of the future is teaching millions of humanoids to coordinate with one another. Imagine a massive warehouse where thousands of robots work simultaneously, or a city where hundreds of machines assist emergency services. For this to function, AI must analyze enormous volumes of data in real time. That is why gigantic supercomputers are now training future robotic neural networks on colossal datasets. Some analysts are already comparing what is happening to the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. Only this time, instead of steam engines, humanity is getting a universal digital worker, and this could completely transform the global economy. The world is changing so quickly that many people do not even have time to fully realize the scale of what is happening. Just 10 years ago, conversations about the end of the gasoline era sounded like the fantasy of environmental activists, the dream of tech startups, and another beautiful presentation by Elon Musk at a Tesla conference. Oil seemed eternal. Gasoline cars had dominated the roads of the planet for more than 100 years. Massive oil corporations controlled national economies, influenced wars, shaped global politics, and determined the cost of living for billions of people. It seemed impossible to change this system, but now, for the first time in a long time, the world has approached a moment when the very foundation of the oil era has started to crack apart. And the paradox is that one of the main accelerators of this process has become the new escalation in the Middle East and the hard confrontation around Iran that began under Donald Trump. After another wave of tension, oil prices once again started rising rapidly. Markets reacted instantly. Tanker transportation became more expensive. Insurance companies raised their rates. Investors began massively pulling money out of unstable energy sectors and searching for alternatives. But most importantly, the governments of the world's largest countries openly started talking about the fact that dependence on oil is becoming a national security threat. And this is no longer only about ecology. The question is now different. What happens to a country's economy if another conflict blocks fuel supplies? What happens if gasoline prices suddenly surge again? And this is exactly why governments have started investing hundreds of billions of dollars into technologies that until recently were considered too expensive and too immature. According to analysts at Bloomberg Energy, investments in electric vehicle infrastructure, batteries, and alternative energy grew at nearly record speed over the last year alone. China is building gigantic battery factories the size of small cities. Europe is subsidizing the transition to electric transportation. Saudi Arabia, which spent decades earning money from oil, is unexpectedly investing billions into solar energy and battery production. Even oil giants like BP and Shell have quietly started restructuring their strategies, understanding that the world is gradually moving toward a new energy era. And although a complete abandonment of oil remains impossible for a very long time, its role is slowly beginning to shrink, especially in the automotive industry. Cars consume an enormous portion of the world's fuel, and it is precisely here that a real technological war is beginning. According to Morgan Stanley, by the end of this decade, electric vehicles could become cheaper than gasoline cars across nearly all major segments. And while range used to be the main fear for consumers, the situation has now changed. Modern electric vehicles can easily travel 500 to 700 kilometers, and some models are already approaching 1,000 kilometers. But another problem has appeared: charging time. This is still what prevents millions of people from switching to electric transportation. Most drivers do not want to wait 30 to 40 minutes at a charging station. People are used to gasoline stations where everything takes only a few minutes. And according to information from several Western publications and insiders within the industry, Elon Musk is preparing to try solving exactly this problem in the near future. According to information published by a number of technology analysts and sources inside Tesla, the company is preparing to launch a new generation charging network called Tesla Hypercharger V5. And if the leaks are true, this is not just a small improvement over existing superchargers. Tesla essentially wants to completely change the principle of charging electric vehicles itself. Several former company engineers speaking with journalists claim that inside Tesla, the project is called Project Flash. Its goal sounds almost insane: to make the charging process faster than an ordinary gasoline refill. According to insiders, the new stations will use a completely different architecture for cooling cables, batteries, and charging modules. The main problem with ultra-fast charging has always been overheating. When a massive flow of energy enters the battery, the temperature rises sharply, leading to battery degradation. That is why most modern electric vehicles limit charging speed after a certain point. But according to rumors, Tesla has found a way to partially bypass this problem using technology originally developed for Tesla Semi. For a long time, Tesla Semi seemed like a strange project. Many analysts did not understand why Musk needed an electric truck. But now it is becoming clear that Semi was not only a vehicle, but also a testing platform for a new energy infrastructure. Trucks require enormous amounts of power, and for them, Tesla created a megawatt charging system. And according to sources, this is exactly the technology now being adapted for ordinary cars. According to preliminary leaks, Hypercharger V5 will be capable of delivering between 700 kilowatts and 1.2 megawatts of power in peak mode. For comparison, most modern Tesla vehicles charge at around 250 kilowatts. This means nearly a four-fold jump in power. According to analysts at Wedbush, if such a system really works, a vehicle could gain up to 400 to 500 kilometers of range in just 5 to 7 minutes. Some insiders even claim Tesla is testing scenarios where charging to 70% takes less than 4 minutes. This is exactly what is now causing real panic among oil companies, because if an electric vehicle charges almost as quickly as a gasoline car, the main argument against electric transportation disappears. Many people are already ready to switch to EVs, but they are frightened by the need to spend a long time charging during trips. If charging takes only a few minutes, the difference between gasoline and electricity practically disappears. Moreover, electricity is becoming cheaper. According to Reuters, many countries have already begun preparing for a possible sharp rise in electricity demand. The United States is accelerating grid modernization, China is building new nuclear plants, and Europe is investing billions into solar farms and energy storage systems, because governments understand that if Tesla and other companies truly solve the charging problem, the world could see explosive growth in electric vehicles. Another interesting factor is China. For a long time, China was considered the leader in batteries and charging infrastructure. Companies like BYD, CATL, and NIO aggressively developed their technologies, and some Chinese charging stations already demonstrated incredible charging speeds. But sources claim Musk intends to strike back precisely at the moment when China had begun feeling like the winner of this race. According to several technology bloggers, Tesla is simultaneously developing new batteries with a modified internal cooling structure. This may involve modified second-generation 4680 cells. Engineers allegedly use microchannel cooling directly inside the battery modules, allowing temperatures during ultra-fast charging to be sharply reduced. Moreover, Tesla may introduce a new battery preheating and preparation system even before the vehicle connects to the station. The car would automatically calculate the route and place the battery into the optimal thermal condition ahead of time. But the main question everyone is asking right now is whether this kind of charging will destroy the battery. And opinions here are divided. Skeptics are convinced that megawatt charging will inevitably lead to accelerated battery wear. However, Tesla supporters point to the semi-testing results. According to sources, the trucks underwent stress tests involving thousands of ultra-fast charging cycles, and degradation turned out to be far lower than expected. Some engineers explain this through new battery chemistry. According to unconfirmed reports, Tesla may use improved silicon anodes and special additives in the electrolyte that reduce dendrite formation. Dendrites have long been one of the main problems of fast charging. They damage the structure of the battery and shorten its lifespan. If Tesla has truly managed to reduce this effect, it would become one of the biggest technological breakthroughs of recent years. Against this backdrop, it is especially interesting to watch the reaction of the oil market. The largest oil companies continue publicly talking about the long future of oil, but at the same time they are beginning to actively invest in alternative sectors. According to Financial Times, some investment funds are already reducing the share of oil assets in their long-term portfolios because nobody wants a repeat of the stories of Kodak, Nokia, or BlackBerry, companies that realized too late that the industry was changing. The automotive market is already beginning to restructure itself. Ford, General Motors, Mercedes, BMW, Hyundai, and Volkswagen are all accelerating their transition to electric platforms, and many experts believe Tesla is once again setting the pace for the entire industry. Even if Musk's claims are exaggerated, even if the real specifications turn out to be more modest than promised, the very appearance of a new generation of charging stations could change the psychology of the market. Technological revolutions often happen not when the old technology completely disappears, but when the new one becomes more convenient. This is exactly what once happened with smartphones, and exactly how digital cameras destroyed film. Now, a similar process is beginning to happen with gasoline vehicles. In recent months, events have begun unfolding in the technology world that, just a year ago, would have seemed impossible even to the most daring Silicon Valley analysts. Insiders from the semiconductor industry, former Tesla employees, and several sources close to XAI are increasingly saying that Elon Musk is preparing to make the most dangerous and most ambitious move of his career, to completely rewrite the rules of the global AI race. And this is no longer just about a new chatbot, a new Tesla car, or even Optimus robots. According to several technology publications, including Bloomberg, The Information and Semi-Analysis, the Musk empire is allegedly nearing completion of a new generation of AI chips capable of surpassing NVIDIA, Google, and even OpenAI's closed accelerators in computational power and AI training efficiency. And if even part of these rumors turns out to be true, the world may be on the brink of the biggest technological shift since the rise of the internet. Today, almost the entire artificial intelligence industry depends on NVIDIA. Virtually every major AI service, every neural network, and every supercomputer runs on Jensen Huang's GPU. OpenAI uses NVIDIA, Microsoft uses NVIDIA, Meta uses NVIDIA, Amazon, Google, and Anthropic are all tied to American AI accelerator supply chains. But the problem is that Elon Musk has never liked relying on other people's technology. When Tesla lacked batteries, he built Gigafactory. When SpaceX could not buy the engines it needed, he started building them himself. When Tesla hit the limits of conventional chips for autonomous driving, the company developed its own FSD chip. And now, it seems Musk has decided to go further than anyone else and build a full-cycle computational ecosystem that could not only compete with NVIDIA, but potentially destroy its dominance. According to sources close to XAI, the company has long had a secret program codenamed Titan Core. This, insiders say, is the name of Musk's new generation of AI accelerators being developed jointly by engineers from Tesla, XAI, and former Apple Silicon specialists. Some analysts believe these chips may be an evolution of the Dojo architecture, but in a significantly more powerful and scalable form. The key difference is not just raw computational power. According to rumors, Musk is betting on a completely different philosophy of AI training, not simply increasing the number of GPUs, but creating a unified AI ecosystem where every component is optimized for a specific task. Optimus robots, Tesla robotaxis, Starlink satellites, Grok, SpaceX systems, and even future Martian colonies. Semi-analysis sources claim that xAI is already discussing clusters consisting of millions of next-generation AI accelerators. To understand the scale, today even the most powerful AI supercomputers in the world contain tens or hundreds of thousands of GPUs. A million AI chips would already represent planetary-scale infrastructure. Some engineers call this a digital brain of civilization. Elon Musk is allegedly convinced that only such computational power can enable AGI, artificial general intelligence at human or superhuman level. Moreover, some insiders claim that this is exactly why Musk is building massive next-generation data centers, referred to inside the company as terafab. According to unconfirmed information, terafab is not just a data center, it is a full-scale computation factory. Massive complexes the size of a small city, filled with rows of liquid-cooled AI systems connected by ultra-high-speed optical channels. One such facility is allegedly already under construction near xAI infrastructure in the United States. Inside the company, people say terafab is meant to become a gigafactory for intelligence. If Gigafactory produced batteries, then terafab will produce computational power. And the scale of energy consumption of these facilities is already raising concerns among American energy experts. Some analysts suggest that a single terafab could consume more electricity than an entire large city. And this is where things become even more interesting, because Musk, unlike most competitors, controls almost every key component of the future AI empire. He has Tesla, the world's largest source of real-world driving data. Millions of Tesla vehicles continuously record video, driver behavior, road situations, and weather conditions. He has X, a massive social network with a constant stream of text, news, conflicts, and human emotions. He has Starlink, the largest satellite internet system in history. He has SpaceX, a company already launching more payload into space than many countries combined. And now, on top of that, Optimus and new AI chips are being added. If all of this is truly integrated into a single infrastructure, Musk would gain something no other company in the world has: a vertically integrated AI civilization. Some former OpenAI employees openly say that Musk may become the most dangerous player in the AI race. Not because he has the best chatbot today, but because he is building the ability to train AI simultaneously on Tesla road data, X social data, Optimus robot data, voice commands, camera feeds, Starlink satellite data, and even SpaceX simulations. In effect, this is the creation of an artificial intelligence that understands not only text, like today's models, but the physical world itself, and that is an entirely different level. One Morgan Stanley analyst recently stated that Tesla is gradually transforming not into a car company, but into an AI infrastructure at planetary scale. And given what is happening, this may not be an exaggeration. According to rumors, Musk's next-generation chips will use a completely new system of memory and data transfer between accelerators. Today, the main problem in AI clusters is not only computation, but also the speed of communication between GPUs. NVIDIA addresses this with NVLink and expensive server racks. But insiders claim that xAI is allegedly testing an optical interconnect architecture between chips, where data is transmitted via light instead of electrical signals. If this is true, latency between AI nodes could drop significantly, while energy consumption could be substantially reduced. Some engineers call this an internet inside a supercomputer. There are also increasing rumors that Musk wants to integrate AI accelerators directly into Tesla Optimus infrastructure. This means future robots could perform part of their computations locally, without constant cloud connection. Imagine a robot capable of analyzing the surrounding world in real time, learning new actions, and instantly sharing experience with millions of other robots via Starlink. In effect, this is a form of collective machine intelligence. And this is where many experts begin to talk about danger, because if even half of these technologies work as intended, humanity could face the largest leap in automation in history. Robots could replace millions of people not only in factories, but also in logistics, construction, medicine, transportation, and even programming. Some Goldman Sachs analysts have already warned that AI could affect hundreds of millions of jobs worldwide. But until now, the focus was mostly on digital professions. Now, there is a possibility that, thanks to Optimus and Musk's AI chips, automation will move into the physical world as well. That is why many governments are now closely monitoring xAI and Tesla. In Washington, concern is growing that Musk is effectively building an independent technological superpower within the United States. A former Pentagon official told journalists that the combination of satellite communications, autonomous systems, robots, and AI chips could have not only commercial, but also military implications. And that is indeed logical, because an AI system capable of controlling millions of autonomous devices inevitably becomes a strategic technology. Against this backdrop, the development of the Grok project looks particularly interesting. For a long time, many dismissed it as just another catch-up chatbot, but inside xAI, according to leaks, Grok is seen as the central intelligence of Musk's entire future ecosystem. Not just an AI assistant, but the core that will manage Optimus robots, robotaxis, satellite networks, Starlink infrastructure, and possibly future Tesla factory control systems. Some insiders claim that xAI is already training new versions of Grok on massive Tesla video datasets. This means the AI is beginning to understand motion physics, object behavior, people, cities, and the real world itself. And if this is combined with millions of robots, it creates a system capable of learning from literally everything happening on the planet. Already now, the world's largest technology companies are gradually beginning to change the very understanding of what human everyday life will look like over the next 10 years. Just a few years ago, the idea that a full-fledged humanoid robot would stand in the kitchen instead of a person was perceived as science fiction from movies about the distant future. But today, the situation is changing so rapidly that even Wall Street analysts admit the market for household humanoid robots could become the largest technology market in human history after smartphones. And at the center of this race right now is Tesla, and personally Elon Musk, who, according to several American publications and Silicon Valley insiders, has already held closed presentations of the new generation of Optimus robots for the company's partners and potential investors. The most interesting thing is not even that these robots will be able to carry heavy loads, work in factories, or perform household cleaning. Tesla's main bet is unexpectedly being placed specifically on cooking food. Yes, it sounds like something unbelievable. But according to sources inside the company, they believe that the kitchen will become the main battlefield for the future of household robots. Because cooking is one of the most exhausting and constant responsibilities of human beings. People spend thousands of hours of their lives preparing breakfasts and dinners, washing dishes, buying ingredients, cutting products, controlling temperatures, and constantly repeating the same actions. And it is exactly this routine that Tesla wants to eliminate completely. According to journalists who attended one of the closed demonstrations in Texas, the new Optimus is already capable of independently preparing a full dinner without human involvement. And this is not about some primitive reheating of processed food. The robot supposedly knows how to work with real ingredients: vegetables, meat, spices, dough, hot surfaces, and kitchen appliances. Insiders claim that Tesla, together with xAI and the Grok team, created a separate neural network model trained on millions of hours of culinary videos, recipes, and the movements of professional chefs. This system analyzed literally every hand movement of the world's best chefs: how to hold a knife, how to flip a steak, how to determine meat readiness by texture, how to recognize smells and degrees of doneness. And most importantly, the robot is constantly learning. This is no longer just a programmed machine. It is a full-fledged AI chef that will become better every day. Sources claim that Tesla is making a huge bet specifically on the robot's human design. Inside the company, they believe that psychologically, it is easier for people to perceive an assistant that looks as similar to a human as possible. That is why the new generation of Optimus will have almost completely human proportions, smooth movements, and even micro-gestures. According to engineers, the robot will be able to slightly tilt its head during conversations, maintain visual contact through a face screen, and react to the owner's emotions. The face itself will be replaced by a large next-generation OLED display that will show animated facial expressions, eyes, emotions, and an interaction interface. But the rest of the body will be practically identical to a human, especially the hands. Right now, the hands are being called Tesla's main project. According to insiders, the company spent billions of dollars creating the most precise robotic hand possible, because the kitchen is a real hell for a robot. It requires millimeter precision, flexibility, speed, and the ability to work with hundreds of different objects. A human hand can carefully crack an egg without crushing it completely, can feel the texture of dough, can hold slippery fish, and can slice vegetables into ultra-thin pieces. And Tesla wants to achieve the same capabilities from its robots. Some journalists who attended the demonstrations claimed that the new Optimus hands are capable of performing more than 200 different types of grips. The robot can hold a wine glass without leaving fingerprints. It can roll out dough with extreme precision. It can decorate dishes at the speed of a professional Michelin restaurant. And all of this happens almost silently. According to sources, Tesla specifically worked to ensure that the robot's movements looked alive rather than mechanical. And this especially impressed investors, because many companies are already creating industrial humanoids, but it is specifically Tesla that is trying to make a robot emotionally comfortable for an ordinary family. The most interesting part is the business model currently being actively discussed inside the company. According to Bloomberg and a number of tech bloggers, Tesla may completely change the principle of robot sales. Instead of a simple device purchase, the company is supposedly considering several subscription levels at once. The basic version will include a standard household robot capable of cleaning the house, washing dishes, organizing items, and performing simple cooking. But a separate feature will be Tesla Chef AI, a premium kitchen assistant mode. Sources claim that Tesla wants to create something similar to a Netflix or Spotify subscription, but for food preparation. For example, the basic package would allow the robot to cook a limited number of dishes, and the premium subscription Tesla Chef Premium would unlock access to thousands of recipes, personalized learning, automatic nutrition planning, and even culinary styles from different countries around the world. Imagine the situation. In the morning, you wake up and tell the robot, "Today, I want a Japanese breakfast." The robot instantly analyzes your preferences, health condition, calories, physical activity, and the availability of products in the refrigerator, and begins cooking. 20 minutes later, a restaurant-level breakfast from an expensive Tokyo restaurant is already on the table. Moreover, the robot itself knows which ingredients are running low and automatically orders new ones through the Tesla marketplace ecosystem. Essentially, the kitchen turns into a fully autonomous system. According to analysts from Morgan Stanley, it is the home automation market that could make Tesla the most valuable company in human history. Because while previously Tesla sold cars, now the company wants to sell essentially digital workers. And such workers can be scaled infinitely. One robot will generate money for the company not only during the sale, but also every month through subscriptions. Some insiders say that the Tesla Chef subscription could cost around $200 to $300 per month, but users would gain access to the cloud intelligence of the kitchen. In other words, the robot would constantly receive skill updates, new recipes, new cooking techniques, new movements, new presentation styles, and also the ability to replicate dishes from the world's best restaurants. This is exactly what especially frightens the restaurant business right now, because major chains already understand if Tesla truly releases a mass-market kitchen robot, the industry could change forever. According to American analytical centers, restaurants spend enormous amounts of money on staff. Chef salaries, training, employee turnover, human mistakes, employee illnesses, vacations, all of this costs billions of dollars annually. A robot, however, is capable of working almost around the clock, without fatigue, without breaks, without conflicts, without being late, and most importantly, consistently. The same burger will always have the same taste. The same steak will always be cooked perfectly. Insiders claim that already now some major restaurant chains in the US are testing early versions of Tesla kitchen robots behind closed doors. Fast food chains are especially interested in this, because speed and consistency are crucial there. According to sources, one Optimus is capable of replacing several kitchen employees at once. The robot can simultaneously fry meat, assemble burgers, control fryers, clean work surfaces, and monitor orders. And thanks to integration with Grok, the robot will understand human speech almost like a real employee. But the real revolution may begin specifically in the segment of expensive restaurants, because here Tesla is betting on something completely insane. Sources claim that Tesla is working on a Michelin AI mode. This is a separate system that analyzes the techniques of the world's best chefs. Essentially, the robot will be able to replicate the style of famous restaurants. Imagine having a chef at home who can cook like the best restaurants in Paris, Tokyo, or New York, and all of this without human mistakes. Moreover, some experts believe that robots may surpass humans, because a robot is capable of considering hundreds of parameters simultaneously. The temperature of every millimeter of the surface, air humidity, the cooling speed of a dish, the chemical composition of ingredients, the reaction of proteins during heating, and all of this in real time. Some futurists are already calling this the end of the household kitchen era, because in 10 years people may stop cooking altogether. Just as most people today no longer wash clothes by hand, in the future, cooking may become a rare hobby rather than a daily obligation.